Hey guys, it's Bree here. So today we are going to talk about Mnet's Kingdom. So if you're not familiar with Kingdom, it is a show by Mnet where boy groups go onto the show and compete with live performances. So last season, the boys actually took the crown, and this season we have the boys returning to compete along with ateez, Stray Kids, btob, ikon, and SF9. So as you can see, we have like a really good wide range of boy groups competing for the crown. Kingdom is actually, from what I understand, a spin-off of the show Queendom, which was the same type of show but featured girl groups instead. So episode 1 of Kingdom Legendary War aired April 1st Korean Standard Time. I watched the show and all the performances, and today I'm going to be telling you my rankings of all of the group's performances on episode 1. Now, just as a quick disclaimer, I am an ateez, I love ateez, but I'm going to be as completely unbiased as possible, and I'm literally just going to rank all of the group's performances based on the vocals, styling, choreography, overall concept of the performance, etc. So before we get into the video, you guys know what to do. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and now let's get into it.
I'm saying I don't wanna come down from your love. We'll get lost together, let me find. Don't ever let me come down from your love. From your love, from your baby.
So for episode 1, the boy groups had to perform some of their hits with a special remix performance for the Kingdom show. So I'm going to start ranking them, starting with number 6 being last place, going up to number 1 for first place. So when you're done watching my ranking, make sure to comment below and let me know what your rankings were for episode 1. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, so coming in last place, or number 6, it's btob with the choir version of their song Beautiful Pain. Now I have to say the harmonies and the overall vocals were on point. They also looked great in all white. I think they stood out from a lot of the boy groups that were mostly wearing all black, besides ikon. But to be honest with you, I just wish they would have done more with the stage. I really liked that they showcased their vocals with the live singing and the choir kind of like stripped down instrumental that they were singing to. But for me, the show Kingdom is known for their epic performances, like just going all out with the concepts. And to be honest with you, I wanted more from btob, especially since they are the most senior group in the competition. All of the other groups totally looked up to them. I just feel like as the sunbays of the competition, as the veterans in the industry, I was really hoping that they would totally kill it and show these younger idols how to do things, you know what I mean? But to me, it just left a lot to be desired. Like I said, their vocals were on point, but being that we are on Kingdom, I just really wanted them to make more use of the stage and just really blow me away. But that's just my opinion, no shade to btob at all. This is a ranking video, so I have to give someone last place. For the number 5 rank, I am giving it to SF9 with Good Guy. Now, I absolutely love the song Good Guy. I just started kind of listening to SF9 last year. Good Guy is an amazing song. It definitely gives me mature and sexy vibes. So I was really excited to see what they would do with the glory version of Good Guy. So first I want to talk about the intro of the performance. So in the intro, Yoo Tae-young is seen kind of like strutting down the stage. That's basically the intro. He's just walking, and it takes up quite a lot of time, and then I believe the rest of the members joined him. They walked to a certain point of the stage, and then they stopped. One of the members, I don't remember his name, he kind of looks at his watch, and then they start performing. So to me, that intro was kind of anticlimactic. For these performances, I believe they only have about 2 minutes to deliver a performance. So that long intro of walking, even though they all look great, and even some of the members of the other groups commented on how handsome they are, how tall they are, how good they looked in their suits, I just wish they would have made more use of their performance and just done more with the intro, because to me, the whole walking, while it looked amazing, it was kind of like anticlimactic and a waste of their time. Just to give you an idea, the actual dancing starts 54 seconds in of the performance if you watch the full video on YouTube. That's a lot of time that's used. So at 54 seconds, 2 of the members kind of are doing a dance break, and then the rest of the members join in, and that's when the actual instrumental for Good Guy starts. Now, I loved the actual performance of when the song Good Guy started and they started dancing to Good Guy, but I just feel like there was so much time leading up to that because we had all of this walking and choreo that was okay, but you just kind of wanted more. I don't know, I just really wanted more from SF9. I think the actual choreo to Good Guy was great. They looked great. I loved the suits. They definitely stood out from the rest of the groups because they had a more like mature, professional, sexy look. But yeah, I just think they could have used their time better to perform, and that's why I'm giving them 5th place. So number 4 goes to Icon with Rhythm Ta. In the beginning of the performance, they kind of do this formation with their hands, and I thought that was really cool and elegant and a different way to start. It kind of grabs your attention from the beginning, and the entire performance was like totally high energy from start to finish, which is what I wish the other 2 groups before would have done. It was totally gripping and you were engaged the entire time. There wasn't a lot of empty space in the performance or just walking or standing around. Like I said, they just went right into it. And let me just say, Bobby was giving me life throughout the performance. When he was dancing, he was smirking and smiling, and just the overall energy of the group was really, really fun. They had attitude, and I feel like that really goes with the hip-hop feel of Rhythm Ta. And I don't know, the remix of Rhythm Ta definitely gave me like old school YG vibes, which I absolutely loved as a 2nd gen K-pop stan. Okay, so now let's get into the top 3. So for number 3, yes, this ateez is giving ateez number 3. I said I was going to be unbiased, right? So number 3 is ateez with the Wave Overture. So first off, I loved the whole pirate theme that ateez went with for this performance. You guys know the pirate theme kind of stays consistent with ateez, and I love that they do that. So in the beginning, you have this imagery of a pirate ship, and then you see Hongjoong. He's obviously injured, and he's kind of holding himself and walking down the stage, and then you see the members of ateez all laying on the ground. They're obviously injured too. So Hongjoong kind of walks past his injured crew. He kind of looks up and you hear like gunfire or a cannonball coming, and then he falls. Okay, it was like super dramatic. I was here for it. I was like, yes, give us the melodrama. We love it. So after he falls, he kind of wakes up and he says Hakuna Matata, and he spits out blood. He stands up and the rest of the members stand up as well, and then the performance starts. Although ateez did have an intro, the intro was definitely storytelling, and it set up the performance so you didn't feel bored while you were watching it. And after the intro was over, like everything from there was totally fast paced. So once the performance starts, it's really cool because Hongjoong actually kind of pushes the camera, and then the camera veers off to Wooyoung, San, and Jungho, and they're dancing and chanting away, away like pirates. That was like a really cool way to start off Wave. So after that, the camera kind of pans off to the other direction of the stage, and we see Yoonho, Songhwa, and Yosang dancing, and their choreo is like very like higher energy and ragged. Like it reminds you of something a pirate would do, which I really like. There's one part where San literally flips over Yoonho and Songhwa's shoulders. Like I don't know how San does this. And then they end the performance with San literally jumping up onto everyone's shoulders and holding a torch. So from the start to the end, the performance was totally high energy. They made great use of the stage, with some of the members being on one end and then the camera panning off to the other members at the other end of the stage, and then finally coming together to join at the center of the stage. I just think that was a great use of the stage. I really also like how they set up the story. I think out of everyone in this episode, I think ateez did the best as far as storytelling. So the performance was gripping from start to finish. You could also hear their live vocals really well. Like always, ateez is just so high energy with their choreo. Their expressions are on point. I always joke around and say that ateez are like actors or method actors, but it's because they totally commit to their performance no matter what concept it is, and I absolutely love that. I thought they did a great job. So yes, I'm giving ateez number 3 with their overture of Wave. Okay, so now let's get into the top 2, and let me just say, this was really, really difficult for me. For me, my rankings for number 1 and 2 were extremely, extremely close. I literally had to watch both performances a couple times again just to kind of figure out who I wanted to give number 1, who I wanted to give number 2, and why. Because everybody did amazing this episode, but these 2 groups were just on point for me. I was totally blown away. So for number 2, drum roll please, I'm giving the boyz number 2 with the Stealer. Okay, now like I said, this was a really close call for me, but yes, I'm giving the boyz number 2. So they did the epic version of the Stealer, and I really liked the little intro. There was a really cool, elegant intro with Juhyun and one of the other members. It was just a really cool and elegant intro. And once again, with this intro, I feel like they made great use of their time. It wasn't anticlimactic at all. They pretty much just got right into it. Sunwoo was kind of walking from one end of the stage to the center. He was kind of like rapping in a really deranged and paranoid way, and I really liked how he got into character for that. It was really cool and really interesting. The other highlight for me is when Sunwoo kind of falls to the ground, and in the camera view you literally see just 2 hands coming like that, and they're doing like all these hand movements and stuff, and then you have Sunwoo in the center. That part was so cool, and I thought it was like a great use of the camera. and at one point you see those hands come out, grab Sunwoo, and pull him forward. That was just really cool and creative. That was definitely one of the highlights for me of that performance. So the best part of the boys' performance for me was at the end. The music actually suddenly changes from like this heavy EDM beat to this really elegant, soft violin and piano instrumental. And with that, the boys' choreo changes. So the choreo becomes more like ballet and contemporary dance inspired. It was like literally so beautiful and elegant to watch, and it was a really nice change of pace from all of the hard hitting, heavy, almost aggressive choreo that we saw the other groups do on this episode. So yeah, like that sudden switch up of the music, really, like, I was honestly pleasantly surprised, and it was such a good change of pace. At one point, Juyeon is actually lifted up by the members, and he literally falls back and trust falls out of the view of the camera. That was so cool, and like I said, great use of the camera. My only complaint about this is the ending. So after the trust fall, everyone kind of stands up and they look at the camera, the music stops, and that is the end of their performance. I just wish they would have ended the performance with more of a bang, but overall I still think it's a great performance. They did amazing. I can see why they took the crown last season. These other groups better watch out, because the boys are really here to win it. So number one, you guys have already figured out, is Stray Kids. So Stray Kids performed Miro. Miro is one of my favorite songs. I was so excited to see it, and I was excited to see Stray Kids like throughout the whole episode, just because the way they were dressed, I could see they were like ready to perform. They were definitely dressed like medieval warriors, like almost like medieval tribal warriors. They had wolf tattoos on their hands. Some of them had scratches on them, crazy contacts. So they were like literally ready to go, and I couldn't wait to see what they would do, because, you know, you guys know Stray Kids, they're amazing performers as well. First of all, let me say that Hyunjin is out of this world. I think it's so satisfying watching him dance. I don't know what it is. It's his movements, but it's also his body while he dances. He has like really long legs and arms, so some of the lines he makes when he dances just look amazing. So the intro starts with Hyunjin. He's kind of crouched on the ground, and he has one hand over his face, and on that hand is the wolf tattoo. So it just looks really cool. And as he's doing the choreo on the ground, you can literally hear wolves, like a pack of wolves, howling and barking. I think that was a really cool touch as well. So then this is the cool part. The camera basically pans to the rest of the group. They're holding their faces with their tattooed hands as well. The lights literally shut off, and then you just see all these green pairs of eyes. That was so cool, and it definitely went with the wolf theme. I absolutely loved it. It was so creative. So yeah, the choreography and the performance in general was just amazing and gripping from start to finish. There's this one part that was so crazy to me. Like, Felix literally jumps off of two of the members' backs onto the ground, and he lands with Han between his legs. So you can like tell how that could have went wrong. If they didn't have that just right, he could have landed on Han and hurt him. But I think they did practice this a few times, and during the rehearsal part of the episode, they actually showed that at one point they kind of collided. So they nailed it for the performance though. They obviously practiced it and got it right. There's also another part where Hyunjin kind of runs and flips over to the members' shoulders, kind of like what San did in ateez's performance. That was really cool as well. They also made great use of props. I was like totally blown away by that. So throughout the choreography, they were using fake knives, and as they were dancing and moving the knives around, you could hear the sound of metal. It was really cool. At one point, Changbin literally picks up like a flamethrower or something with sparks coming out of it. I was like, wow, they were going all out. There's one part where Bangchan is literally like standing up, and he just goes into a backflip. I was like, wow, you guys, they were just very like agile, very acrobatic. There was a lot going on in their performance. It was like crazy. You didn't know who to watch and who to look at, because everybody was like just doing so much. So overall, I just really loved the wild warrior concept they were going for. They really committed to it, from the styling to the choreography to like a lot of the wolf themes. It just really worked well all around, and that's why I'm giving Stray Kids number one with their performance of Miro. So that wraps up my video on my rankings for Kingdom Legendary War episode 1. I hope you guys liked it. Definitely let me know in the comments below. What were your rankings? Let me know what you thought of my rankings. I'd love to hear your opinions. And yeah, I can't wait to see who wins. From what I understand, the voting is still going on, so I guess we have to wait till next episode to see who wins. But definitely comment below what you thought of episode 1 and who you think should win this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Like you, like you, like you, like you, like you, like you, like you.